this working? Right. Damn. My hair is starting to be a little too long again. Yeah. Remember when I started playing Horizon? It's just Horizon Zero Dawn Remaster. I had literally, like a day before doing that very first stream in that game, I had a haircut. So from that day, it's been like 3 months and a week. And normally I have to take a new haircut once every maybe 4 months or so. Or 3 months preferably, so that it's not this long. But, oh well. Funnily enough, it makes me look older the more hair I have, you know? Not the other way around. It's kind of weird. But anyway. I don't know. I don't know what to say. Like, this is the longest break I have probably in my entire life taken from both playing video games as well as when I started streaming from streaming. Like, all because... If I can actually show this. Yo. Black screen. Thank you. All because of this. And translation to that, oh my god, my brain. Oh wait, my webcam is not in... Where is it in here? Oh, top right. Whatever, I'm top right then. Translation, there is a new restriction on Twitch for the amount of highlights that you can have that basically restricts the maximum quantity of the highlights that you have to 100 hours at maximum. If you go past 100 hours, then it starts to delete the previous highlights eventually. And it won't let you create new highlights either. So as you can see, I have 30 hours of highlights now, because I have taken massive precautions here on all of the previous highlights that I ever made. Most of them are on YouTube now. But I keep them... I will probably be able to keep the previous playthroughs highlights as well as... Well, the previous games highlights as well as the current games highlights on Twitch without actually having to move them. Because it's not enough hours yet where I have to forcefully move it. Here on the YouTube channel, over 1,000 videos. And if you do the math, I have uploaded roughly like 34 videos a day. 34 videos a day that I have to first organize, then I have to download them, then I have to organize them again, I have to rename them, then I have to render all of the clips, then I have to also create new clips if the clips are not enough, or if I do not deem that the clips are enough, let's say like on first playthrough, because the thing when I made these highlights, or all of these highlights that I have been making in the past 3 years or so on the Twitch channel, I always made them in the context of, you know, anybody can go also and watch the past VOD as well, the entire like session of the VOD where the highlights were made from, because I was able to highlight those as well. So you can just take an entire like 6-hour session that I have one day, and you can just go watch anything from there if you're curious, you know. But I can't have that anymore because it takes way too many hours on the highlight restriction limit that Twitch has on it right now. So instead, it's better if I just create highlights in a way or taken in the context the fact that, you know, there needs to be more substance in the highlights themselves rather than, you know, it's kind of what I mean by this is when you watch the highlights of a playthrough, I made the highlights in a way where you do not need that much context to understand, like, to follow the highlights, kind of, you know? So it's more easy to just kind of look at a playthrough from start to finish through the highlights that I have made, and, you know, there's not, like, massive voids in there where it becomes confusing to follow what's going on, you know? So just, you know, make it more cohesive, more first reactions to, like, stuff that I may have not made highlights for before. That takes even more amount of time, and then the rendering process, obviously. And fucking YouTube compression is absolutely atrocious. Like, it's so goddamn bad. I knew it was bad just because everybody has been telling that it's bad. But you really don't know how bad Twitch, or why do I keep saying Twitch? You don't know how bad YouTube compression is unless you upload something there yourself. Any moving picture, especially any video game where there's, like, fast-paced action going on, it's fucking awful. Like, there's some tricks that you have to use in order to make the YouTube compression not as bad, especially on the moving images. Like, you can do stuff like you can add a light sharpening filter on the image, which helps, obviously. But, you know, you can't go too much on it, just a light, you know. Then you add some noise. Now, you might be questioning as to why would you want to add some film noise on the image? Like, shouldn't that make the image worse? Because, you know, you basically just create more noise on the image and it becomes, you know, less focused because there's more noise in it, so... You know, stuff moves that should not be moving on the image, like bland textures, models, and whatever, you know. But no, that's not the case. You know why that is? You add a light amount of noise on the image on YouTube because it helps the image quality to stay more true to the original source product that you upload on YouTube. Because the YouTube compression is gonna look at the entire image and it has to decide which parts of the image are important for the YouTube encoder and which ones are not. So when you have a noise filter on the entire full screen image of the video you're uploading, there's a bigger chance that the YouTube encoder is gonna look at some blank parts of an image. So say, like, one example here. This thumbnail that I have of Eve on this scene here. This one. So Eve's face, with not that much detail, at least from this far, like, it would be something that if we have a character who has a, like, zoom up of their face like this for, like, say a few moments and they move their head, like, very slightly, not like wild movement, just like a little bit of subtle, like, face movements and them talking or something. YouTube encoder might look at that and be like, well, the cheeks, or maybe like the eyes, or like the eyelids, or maybe the nose, or something on the face of the character. It's gonna look at it and be like, this doesn't seem very important because nothing is moving here. So it's gonna lessen the detail on those parts where there's less movement, you know? It focuses there less. But if you added that noise for the entire image, then it tries to focus more on even the blanker parts of the image where there is not that much happening. So it's like to trick the YouTube encoder to handle the video at a higher fidelity overall, which actually does work pretty nicely. But it's not gonna delete the, you know, YouTube compression by any means. These are just ways to make it less bad. And I can tell by, you know, having the source, well, I had the source for all of these videos. Obviously, I have to delete each and every one of these videos from my PC every time I upload it, obviously, because it takes way too much goddamn fucking space. And that's another thing. Another trick that you can do to help YouTube compression not destroy the video quality is to upload them at very high bit rates, as well as at a higher quality than 1080p. So if you upload a video that is higher than Full HD in quality, it will always use YouTube's better encoder, which is this VP09 encoder. And the other one is, actually I don't even remember what the other one is because I only had the VP09 on my videos, which is the better YouTube encoder. That is only reserved for videos that are higher quality than Full HD. So that's the reason as to why all of these videos are 1440p that I uploaded, not Full HD videos. And you might be asking as to why did you not just go like 4K, you know? Well, then you can't watch them on mobile as easily. Like, my Android, for example, can comfortably watch all videos at 1440p at a good quality, but if you try to watch 4K on a mobile, it becomes noticeably more difficult, especially on a bit older hardware. So, not to mention the, you know, phone screen size. Anyway, like when you have something that is this size, like if you watch something on 4K on this, like you're not gonna notice the difference between that and like 1440p on that, like that small screen on it. So like there was no point. And I already get the better encoder by uploading it 1440p instead of 4K, and it's also faster. So, but that does not mean that it was faster to upload these videos. Fuck no. Absolutely fucking not. You know, the recommended bitrate for a 1440p video on YouTube that is 60 FPS is roughly about 24 megabits per bit pixels per second. Yes. Guess at what bitrate I uploaded each and every one of these videos. 100 megabit pixels per second. I 4x'd it. You know why I did that? Because up to 100 megabit pixels per second, Mbps or whatever the heck you call that now, the acronym on it, all the way to 100 megabit pixels per second, there actually was a quality difference on both the moving image as well as the still image. It wasn't that massive, going above like say, like 80 megabit pixels to like 100, but there is still some. And past 100 I did not see any like improvement anymore. So I just uploaded all of the videos on 100 megabit pixels per second, which took a long amount of time, as you might think, I might say. In fact, last one of these videos is from this morning, 4 hours ago. Now, I wasn't not even thinking that I was gonna be able to actually finally just get back to, you know, just using my free time normally here, but yeah, here we are. The only reason as to why I'm already on is because Horizon Zero Dawn Remaster and Horizon Forbidden West, that's my current like 2 playthroughs of the same game, sequel and the first game. I decided that I was just gonna upload them after I'm done with Forbidden West at the same time. So that's the only reason as to why I actually got the epiphany to just appear out in front of you today. Or I guess tonight, because why not? Actually, it doesn't really matter if it's tonight, because it's just a relief for me. It's just... Dude, when I was in the military, even then, I did not take this long breaks doing something that I like to do on my free time, or just love to do, just generally, just anytime. Which is either to, you know, either to stream or play video games or whatever. Like, I have literally only, like, done some HDR settings from time to time in, you know, all of my games that I have. In fact, can I actually show this? Let's see. Yeah, there's nothing secretive in this. Whatever. Yeah, it's advertising First Berserker Kazan. Oh yeah, I got AI Limit. It actually released today, but I'm not gonna play it yet, obviously, because I still have Forbidden West incomplete. And then I also bought First Berserker Kazan. I was gonna play both of these games on release. That was the idea. So I was gonna play AI Limit first and then First Berserker Kazan. But because of this small excursion that I had to have with this Twitch problem, I spent basically an entire month not accomplishing much of anything when it comes to gaming. Just wasted a month of my time, pretty much. Well, I mean, it's not a complete waste, like, you know, you go here, like, I made more highlights than there originally was. So like I added more substance, you know? And then if you go back and you look at some stuff here, that looks fucking awful. What the fuck? Like, I added obviously more flair on all of these highlights as well. That was not there before. You know, stuff like this here. I didn't over-edit these videos or anything. I only did it if I genuinely felt like it was actually necessary, you know? And there was like 2 times when I was making these highlights where like I was really gripped by what the highlights that I was making or made at a time were. And those were all from Stellar Blade as well as Black Myth Wukong. Especially Black Myth Wukong. I tried to go back into that game. Okay, past me, stop talking. I tried to go back to that game. And, okay, well, I need to... I tried to go back to Black Myth Wukong like several times, and I tried to find settings in that game that allow it to, you know, either play well or not look like shit. And guess what? You can't do that in that game. It's not that you can't have one of them. You can't have either one of them. Like, Black Myth Wukong, regardless of what settings you run the game in, and I really do mean whatever settings you run the game in, as well. Well, actually that goes for both the points, but anyway, dramatic. Regardless of what settings you run the game in, it will always look bad, like the fidelity of the actual image. The presentation of that game's like image in every single scene when you just look at some like vegetation or look at a horizon, for example, it looks like a pixelated or noisy or over-sharpened mess in that game. Like, the only detail that you can see in that game and actually appreciate are details that are close to you. If anything is like slightly far away, might as well be like oil painting or something. Like a noisy oil painting with like some... I don't know. You get my point. Like, it's just not nice to look at. And now that would be one thing, but does it even play well? No. No, it does not. Like, I tried so goddamn hard to make that game something that I would want to play again. Because I always wanted to play more than one playthrough of Black Myth Wukong. But I never was able to make myself do it, because the first experience I had on it, for a few very big reasons, was just so unenjoyable at times that it's just not... Like, if we don't talk about the presentation of the image in that game, the fidelity of the image, if we don't talk about the graphical inconsistencies, the blurry textures, the buggy textures, the straight up glitchy textures that show like black tiles on a ground where there's like snow in the chapter 3 or something, anything like this, and like you take all of that off, the game just runs bad too. Like, every time you use the spirits in that game, every time you use the transformations in that game, you just lose a ludicrous amount of fucking performance for like no reason. Like, I remember I was fiddling with the settings, trying to find a way to run the game without frame generation and still be able to use like the spirits and the transformations in that game and not have it run like complete garbage. You have to go all the way to like settings that give you 100 FPS, 100 frames per second. And then when you use a transformation and spirit and like a spirit attack back to back, you go to like 60 FPS. And that is in a scene where there is nothing happening. Literally nothing. You're not fighting anything. You're not moving. You're not even moving the camera. And you lose 40 FPS. Fucking unreal, that game. Like, it genuinely makes me both sad and fucking mad how unbelievably inadequate that fucking game runs. It's so fucking bad. It's just really depressing. Like, it really is. Like, I wanna gas the hell out of that game because of how unbelievably cool the the epic and the grandiose moments in that game are. Like, they are literally the best things I have ever seen in a video game. I really do mean that. But like, the game just runs so... It runs so goddamn poorly and looks poor at the same time that I just can't make myself play it. And you might be like, you know, well, that's your opinion. Of course it's my opinion. Everybody's gonna have their own opinion. But like, why does this matter so much? You know? Well, because most games don't run that bad. You usually have to choose between two, even in newer like Unreal Engine games that are not well optimized. You either get actually a decent or good performance eventually when you fiddle with the settings and you optimize them well enough. So you get to actually enjoy the mechanics of the game. You get to enjoy the bread and butter of the game, you know? But with Black Myth Wukong, you don't get either. You don't get a good looking game at all times, but you also don't get a game that plays well at all times. So... such a sad fucking game. Like, you can really tell that it's made by some, like, almost indie or, like, well, more like AA developers, like, in China that made only, like, mobile games before that. You know, you can just tell it. It's the same as Stellar Blade as well, but at least Stellar Blade runs well. You know? Stellar Blade actually, well, actually the image in Stellar Blade looks also really nice most of the time. Like, even on the original PS5, the image looks mostly really nice, apart from, like, some horrendously shit anti-aliasing. But that's something that the PC is gonna be able to fix with something like DLSS 4, for example, the Transformer model. That's gonna be totally fine on PC. But you drop a Transformer model in Black Myth Wukong, guess what you're gonna get? You are gonna get an over-sharpened mess where the Transformer model is gonna emphasize the ghosting of the character's hairs and fur more than it's gonna remove it. And it's not it's not the artificial intelligence's fault that it does that either. It's the game's fault. I have seen this in many other games that have also bad anti-aliasing or ghosting issues already by default because of how the anti-aliasing as well as the shader work is done in the game fundamentally. Like, I saw it in games like Steel Rising, for example. Steel Rising is one great example of this exact same thing happening. Like, if you run that game with DLSS 3, it looks mostly fine, but blurrier. You know, just like normal DLSS you might expect. Bit blurrier image, but you get better performance, and it doesn't emphasize the ghosting or anything like that. But then you use the Transformer model, and because the game's native anti-aliasing and the shading work that it has on it, well, I don't have any better terms for it, so I'm just gonna keep calling shading work. But you know what I mean by this, okay? You drop the Transformer model into something like Steel Rising, and you're gonna get some absolutely egregious ghosting on the screen when you pan the camera or the character left and right. Like, it literally looks like it's like some horrible black smearing, but it just does it on all colors of the screen. Like, that's basically what the Transformer model does in Black Myth Wukong as well. It just emphasizes the ghosting that's already in the game. While if you drop DLSS 3, for example, in the game, the normal like DLAA or anti-aliasing solution, when you have an NVIDIA GPU, what you're gonna get is a blurrier image, but it doesn't emphasize the ghosting further. It just keeps the ghosting the same, bad looking, but it doesn't emphasize it to look even worse. But anyway, let's leave this tangent. So, anything else I want to say? Yes, I have a lot of things that I want to say. It's been a long fucking while when I've been able to talk about this shit. You don't know how much I've actually missed talking. Like, it's really nice to actually talk to something. More like to, you know, my own self or to something or someone's. I don't know, you just imagine that you're talking to somebody when there's no answer. That's kind of how streaming works. Even bigger streamers or lunatics. Oh yeah, Steel Seed demo actually has a weird update on it. I opened this one day. Actually, I might even... hold up. Where is the client? What? This? Ah, okay. Yeah, this popped into my mind here. So, Steel Seed actually has a different demo, but I'm not entirely sure as to when I'm gonna play that. But yeah, the demo on this game was different when I was testing HDR settings, and I did not touch it, I just left it immediately. Might be something we take a look at. Also, demo for this game, which actually got a release as well. What is the name of this again? Redemption of Lion, is it? Or Lewin? It's some like indie game that is hopefully pretty cheap. Yeah, I might buy this like on a sale one day, who knows. But the demo for this is something I was gonna play, but that was like a month ago. You know, right about when the issue with Twitch.tv started, obviously. So, and then I also got this game, which I was gonna play at some point, you know, for reasons, of course. What else? I mean, there's some other games that I also have on the, you know, Steam backlog list at this point. You know, Metal Gear Rising, Revengeance. Maybe playing Monster Hunter World at some point, who knows. Wilds is still on good sale. Then obviously the Plague Tale games, both Remnant games, haven't played those. Hellblade 2, of course. Then we have obviously AI Limit and the first Berserker, Kazan. Hello, somebody in chat. Oh, it's you, I see. You know what, actually? Wait, how do I do this again? It's been so long. Okay, whatever. I was gonna actually replay your follow alert, just because it felt fitting, but... It's been so long when I did that last time. I probably have to do it from the Stream Elements tab, I think, yeah. From the Stream Elements dashboard on Opera GX. This game's demo is the same, no difference there. Oh yeah, AI Limit, First Berserker Kazan. Then I also bought all the Devil May Cry games, besides the reboot. The reboot apparently from 2013 or whatever. It basically tells an entirely different story, and there's a full redesign for the main character of the game also, that most fans did not like. So I decided not to, you know, play that game. So I'm just gonna play the original 1, 2, 3, and 4 and 5. Anything else? Dolson does not have anything new on it. Ooh, you know what, actually? I could show some really cool stuff. Maybe. Well, I'm just gonna show some stuff before I go. I mean, I guess I'm just gonna go back to Forbidden West. I mean, why not? I need to get that game out of my schedule. I need to be able to play some other games. I've spent way too long amount of time playing those Horizon games, man. Especially Forbidden West. It feels like it's dragging for an eternity. The map in that game is way too massive. Okay, please work. I have not launched this in a while. Uh-oh. Yeah, that's not good. Oh, it shows the same for the stream as it does for me. Interesting. Okay, it seems like everything is fine besides the game. I think it's gonna open up though. I think it auto opens with DSR or the dynamics super resolution. Yeah, that's what it was, of course. Excellent. What? Ah, that's how you're gonna do it now. Okay. Let's see, everything here is probably normal. What is it on? Ah, it's on 4K, good. When was the last time I even opened the game? I don't remember, this is bad. Damn. It's goddamn warm in here. It's been warmer here recently. You know, it is spring, I guess. It's been plus Celsius for the past couple weeks. Ah, I see. We are definitely What the fuck is happening in here? Yo. I think I've actually had this happen before too. Hold on. That's quite alarming, though. I think it was just some software shit, though. Okay, now it works, maybe? Yeah, this feels fucking weird, I'm not gonna lie. I've seen many bits on YouTube about Metal Gear Rising, and it looks really fun. The soundtrack is awesome as well. So much so that I loaded my Spotify playlist with songs from the game. No regrets. You know, every time I play a new game, I always add new songs to both my stream playlist and my game playlist. So when I'm just kind of doing anything, especially game related, I just play that playlist sometimes. God damn, does it fucking feel weird to use a controller. I have not touched a goddamn controller in more than a month, by the way, because of what I've been doing. Like, it's bad. Oh god. Oh, fuck me. And there's a lot of aiming in Horizon as well. This will be fucking horrible. I don't know, maybe I get used to it fast. It's quite surprising how easily you can get used to so many things. God damn, that looks nice. And the HDR is working perfectly. Well, expected nothing less with my hard work. Oh yeah, this is obviously modded HDR if you're here first time. But you are only gonna be able to see SDR, of course, because I'm streaming it on SDR. Twitch does not take HDR input anyway. No point trying. But yeah, for me, that looks really fucking good. And for you guys, it's gonna look just nice. Wait a minute. Ah, it's this one. Never played any of the Dark Souls games. I've only played 2 From Software games, Elden Ring and Armored Core 6. Well, you need to play more of them. I think you need to chat less and you need to go play more of them, starting from either Demon... Okay, no. Not Demon Souls. No, fuck no. Dark Souls 1, yeah. Maybe the Demon Souls remake on PlayStation 5, possibly, but... Yeah, that... I played the original Demon Souls on the PlayStation 3 on one of my friend's houses at one point, and I also emulated the game once. And that game... Unlike Dark Souls 1, I don't think that game has aged as nicely. Though I don't think Dark Souls 1 has aged that well either. Dark Souls 2 is where it starts to be like, you know, it's doable. You know, it doesn't feel horrible to play the game, but you know, Demon Souls, the original version of Demon Souls anyway, feels like a very archaic experience if you go back to playing that. So it's quite the shock. But Dark Souls 1 is, you know, it's nicely, slowly paced Souls-like game, you know? And, you know, there is some quality of life stuff in that game that is done not nicely or better than Demon Souls, so, you know, if you have not played all of From Software's games, then Dark Souls 1 is where I would start. Dark Souls 1 was also the first From Software game that I ever played also. I started playing it when I was in upper elementary school or comprehensive schooling. One of my friends at the time was talking about the game non-stop, so I just had to go and, you know, play the game myself to see what the hell it was about. When the person could not shut their mouth about the game during recesses. And if that had never happened, I wonder when I would have started playing any of the Souls-like games. Really just do. Anything else that I want to show before we go back to Horizon? You know, it's kind of really annoying because obviously you guys or the mod either is not going to be able to see what I see here, but you know, you can still try to vicariously enjoy what I see. Let's just open Horizon. Okay. I need to actually continue this game though. I need to get rid of this game so that I can go play other games. Of course.